Friend, do you ever feel like the world, with its relentless barrage of sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and sensations, just crashes into your inner space, leaving you overwhelmed, anxious, or just plain empty? Does it sometimes seem like you're just a passive receiver, a tiny boat tossed on a turbulent ocean of external stimuli? Your inner weather entirely at the mercy of these endless waves rolling in from outside? How many times have you caught yourself, a fleeting impression, a random glance, a misheard phrase, or even a persistent scent, knocking you off balance, triggering a cascade of negative thoughts, reawakening old fears, or stirring up those base desires you thought you'd conquered? We're living in an age of information and sensory overload. We're conditioned to believe that the more we see, hear, taste, and touch, the richer our lives become. Society whispers, no shouts, that the key to happiness lies in the endless consumption of experiences, in chasing after new and more intense stimulations. But what if I told you this is one of the greatest illusions of our time? What if true power, authentic freedom, and profound inner peace are born not from mindlessly devouring everything the world throws at you, but from a conscious, wise, and discerning engagement with it? What if the key to your inner harmony isn't about expanding your external reach, but about fortifying your internal core, about learning to become the guardian of your own senses? Look around. Most people live as if their senses are wide open, uncontrolled floodgates through which everything and anything pours into their souls without filter. They're like a house without doors or windows, exposed to every storm, where any passerby can leave their mark, be it dirt, trash, or, at best, a wilting flower. But do you really want your inner world, your sacred sanctuary, to be a public thoroughfare? Don't you yearn for it to be a place of strength, purity, and light? The profound truth, whispered by sages across ages, is that our external senses are not merely passive channels of perception. They are incredibly potent tools that can either build up or tear down our inner world. They are those very thieves, as the ancients called them, if we don't keep them on a tight rein, if we allow them to wander aimlessly and feed on whatever they find. Yet these same senses can become our staunchest allies on the path to awakening if we learn to master them. And this isn't about suppression, not about asceticism for its own sake, but about the highest form of self-awareness and self-love. Imagine a ship's captain. If they let every gust of wind and every crashing wave dictate the vessel's course, where would it end up? Most likely, smashed against the rocks or lost in the vast, unforgiving ocean. But a wise captain understands the power of the elements, studies them, but most importantly, holds the wheel terra firmly, guiding their ship towards its chosen destination. Your senses are the elements. Your consciousness is the helm. Your will is the captain's hand. So let us explore how you can become this wise captain of your life, learning to manage the gateways of your perception. This is a journey that demands attention and practice, but the rewards are immeasurable. Inner freedom, clarity of mind, and an unshakable peace of heart. The first key, the first great guardian of your inner world, is your sight. Oh, how much we let in through our eyes. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul, but they are also the gates through which both grace and poison can enter. Think about it. What do you direct your gaze towards throughout your day? An endless social media feed filled with curated smiles, performative success, and thinly veiled envy? Scenes of violence and discord broadcast by the news? Seductive images that ignite base instincts and lead you away from true beauty? Ancient wisdom keepers warned against a curious and lustful gaze upon anything that might awaken sensual desires in the heart. Whether it's the beauty of a human form not meant for your intimate viewing, or even your own body viewed with lust rather than acceptance. For as it's been said, such a gaze aimed at coveting is already an act of inner betrayal against your own purity. Remember the timeless stories. The sons of God were captivated by the beauty of human daughters, leading to a downfall. David, seeing Bathsheba, fell. The mighty Samson was ensnared by Delilah. These are not just ancient tales. They are eternal archetypes showing how unchecked sight can cause great suffering. But it's not just about carnal temptations. Don't let your eyes linger with desire on lavish foods and drinks, remembering Eve, whose incautious gaze upon the forbidden fruit led to tragedy. Don't be captivated by the sparkle of expensive clothes, gold and silver, lest the passion of vanity or greed sneak into your soul. Turn my eyes from looking at worthless things, as the psalmist prayed. Avoid gazing upon empty entertainments, quarrels, idle gatherings, anything that pollutes your inner space and sows chaos. So what's the path? Become a conscious curator of your vision. Direct your gaze to what uplifts the soul, the majesty of nature, works of true art, faces radiating kindness and wisdom, sacred symbols if you seek spiritual solace, pages of books carrying the light of knowledge. Look at the world not as a consumer hungry for stimulation, but as an artist seeking harmony, as a philosopher seeking meaning. When you consciously choose what to look at, you nourish your soul with noble sustenance. And you'll be astonished at how your inner state transforms when you stop feeding your inner demons the very food they need to grow. The second guardian of your peace is your hearing. How much unnecessary and sometimes downright harmful information floods into us through our ears. Idle chatter, gossip, judgment, vulgar music, aggressive speech, all these, like toxic seeds, fall onto the soil of our consciousness and sprout into poisonous weeds of irritation, despondency, anger, or lustful thoughts. The wise advise, first, be wary of listening to shameful and lustful talk, songs and music that soften the soul and ignite base passions. Second, find no pleasure in boisterous and mocking conversations, empty fables and fabrications. If you hear them unintentionally, don't savor them, don't approve. Third, do not listen with delight to any slander about others. If you can, stop it. If not, walk away so as not to be complicit. For one who listens to a slanderer without stopping them shares their transgression. Fourth, don't get caught up in the empty and vain talk with which many fill their lives, for every idle word will have its consequences. And finally, beware of flattery and praise that can lull your vigilance and inflate your ego. What then should you listen to? Seek soul food here too. Listen to wise conversations, inspiring music, the sounds of nature, the sound of silence. Silence isn't emptiness. It's the space where you can hear the voice of your soul, the voice of the universe. Learn to listen not just to words, but to what lies behind them. Listen with an open heart to those who bring knowledge and love. And paradoxically, learn to listen to criticism, should it come your way, not to suffer, but to see your blind spots if there's a grain of truth, or to strengthen your humility and equanimity. Conscious hearing is a filter that allows into your inner world only what contributes to your growth and harmony. The third aspect demanding your attention is your sense of smell. You might be surprised, but scents also hold immense power over our state of being. Harsh, artificial, overtly sensual scents can subtly stir lower impulses, weaken willpower, and lead you into a world of illusion. It's no wonder that in ancient times, an excessive fondness for perfumes was considered a sign of effeminacy and even moral weakness. Prophets warned those who anointed themselves with the finest oils that stench would replace their sweet smells. This doesn't mean you should renounce pleasant aromas, but choose them consciously. Let them be natural scents. The smell of freshly cut grass, a pine forest, the sea breeze, a blooming garden, clean laundry. Such scents soothe, harmonize, and reconnect you with your roots. As for heavy, intoxicating perfumes, especially those associated with seduction and sensuality, it's best to keep your distance if you aspire to clarity of mind and purity of heart. Your sense of smell is another entrance to your inner temple. Be mindful of the fragrances you allow to fill it. The fourth pillar of your inner equilibrium is taste. Oh, how often we become slaves to our appetites. The pursuit of exquisite, sweet, rich, stimulating foods and drinks can lead not only to health problems, but also to the enslavement of the spirit. In striving to satisfy gastronomic whims, people sometimes resort to deception, dishonesty, and other unsavory actions. And the very act of immoderate indulgence in food and drink plunges one into a state of animalistic laziness, dulls higher aspirations, and ignites carnal passions. The prophet Amos harshly condemned those who, Eat lambs from the flock and calves from the midst of the stall, and drink wine in bowls, surrendering to luxury and forgetting spiritual values. Does this mean you should live on bread and water? Not at all. But here too, the key is mindfulness and moderation. Food is given to us to sustain life and health, not to become an end in itself or a source of crude pleasures. Learn to enjoy simple, wholesome food. Eat slowly, consciously, savoring the taste of each bite, giving thanks for the energy it provides. Avoid excess, overeating, and consuming products that cloud your consciousness or create unhealthy dependencies. When your palate is cleansed from addiction to artificial stimulants, you will discover the true joy of simple and natural food, and your body and spirit will thank you. And finally, the fifth door to your inner world, perhaps the most intimate and one of the most powerful, is touch. Our hands, our skin, these are our direct conduits to the world of physical sensations. And here lie many subtle traps. Ancient teachers advise guarding one's hands from idle and sensual touching, whether it be of another's body or even one's own, if done out of idle curiosity or to arouse base desires. The more sweet ye such a touch, the more intensely it can ignite the inner fire of passion, which is then difficult to extinguish. Other senses prepare the ground for transgression from afar, as it were, but when it comes to touching what should not be touched, it becomes exceedingly difficult to refrain from the act itself. The temptations of touch also include an excessive love for soft, luxurious clothing, expensive jewelry, indulgent bedding, and frequent, prolonged bathing for pleasure's sake. All this can weaken the spirit, make it soft, vulnerable to passions. Remember the parable of the rich man who dressed in purple and fine linen and feasted sumptuously every day? His end was sorrowful. Prophets also warn those who lie on beds of ivory and stretch themselves out on their couches that a reckoning would come. But again, this isn't about wearing rags and sleeping on bare boards, unless one has a specific calling for it. It's about not making comfort in bodily pleasures your idols. Dress simply, neatly, according to need, to protect yourself from cold or heat. Let your home be clean and comfortable, but don't become a slave to things. Appreciate simple joys that don't require great expense and don't enslave the soul. Let your body be your temple, not your idol. Perhaps you're thinking, this sounds incredibly difficult, like too many restrictions. This sounds like a path of deprivation, not joy. But that's a surface-level view. In reality, this is the path to the greatest freedom. Freedom from the tyranny of your own passions and external circumstances. When you stop feeding your weaknesses through uncontrolled senses, they begin to weaken and wither. That very antlion, in an ancient image of the devil, or our inner tempters, perishes when it has nothing to eat. It is powerful only as long as we ourselves nourish it with our unconscious reactions to external stimuli. Understand this. Everything we've discussed, the impressions from sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, this is the earth, the food that nourishes our passions. If you take this seriously, if you courageously arm yourself with awareness and stop allowing this food to enter your soul through the gates of your senses, you will truly drain the power of the devil and your passions. You will cut off their supply line. And then, in a very short time, you will feel the true spiritual warrior awaken within you, a valiant victor in this unseen but most crucial battle, the battle for your soul. Start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Today, pick one sense, for example, sight. And throughout the day, just observe. What are you looking at? What images are you letting in? What effect do they have on you? And make at least one small but conscious effort. Turn your gaze away from something empty or harmful and direct it towards something pure and uplifting. Tomorrow, add awareness to your hearing. And so, step by step, you will gain mastery over your inner world. This isn't a path of prohibitions, it's a path of choice. This isn't an escape from the world, it's about finding yourself within the world. This is a path to such a depth of peace, such clarity of consciousness, and such an indomitable strength of spirit that you may have never even dreamed of. You are the guardian of your heart. You are the master of your inner home. So take the keys into your own hands. What's the first step you're ready to take right now to begin this transformative journey? Which of your senses will you begin to consciously protect and purify, starting today? Remember, every moment is an opportunity for choice, and every right choice brings you closer to your true essence, to your limitless potential for light and love. The path is open, and it's waiting for you. Step forward into your truest self.